All praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. All right, this lesson is going to be entitled The Romans in 1MACCABEES chapter 8. Were they Israelites or Edomites? The Romans in 1MACCABEES chapter 8. Were they Hellenized Israelites or Edomites? All right. And this question right here was came up on the comment board. Been 2 weeks now. I'm just now getting around to it. From Watchman for Yasharallah. He says, Shalom. Quick question: is the Romans in 1MACCABEES 8 chapter Hellenized Israelites / Jews or Edomites? And the answer is they were Edomites. Or, there's no way possible we can know that if every one of them was Edomites, but for all intents and purposes, they were the original, they were the Romans, okay? Not Israelite foreigners, they were Romans. Edomites is what they were. And you find this out when you read 1MACCABEES chapter 8. All right, and I know that brother probably read it. That's why he wanted to know, but you just have to read it carefully. This is 1MACCABEES chapter 8. We'll just read it, jump around in it a little bit. But there's some things that jump out at you to let you know. I mean, I don't know why this brother thinks that it would be anything other than, the Romans, but obviously he got confused about it. Anyway, 1MACCABEES chapter 8 says, now Iudas had heard of the fame of the Romans. And he wanted to know, are these Romans Hellenized Israelites? Or are they the real Romans, the Edomite Romans? And the answer is, it's the Roman military or the Romans, the Edomite Romans. Now, among them, you had Jake fighting among them, right? As with Cornelius and other people that were part of the Roman military, because they absorbed different countries after they conquered them. You had people that was joining their military. So it says, now Iudas had heard of the fame of the Romans, that they were mighty and valiant men, and such as would lovingly accept all that joined themselves unto them, and make a league of amity with all that came unto them, and that they were great men, that they were men of great valor. It was told him also of their wars and noble acts which they had done amongst the Galatians, and how they had conquered them and brought them under tribute. See right there, you ain't have Israelites as they wasn't rulers and exacting tribute from nations. Tribute is what you get when you conquer people. Let's look it up real quick. Right, just hold tight here. Search web for tribute. Tribute definition and meaning: under feudalism, a tax paid by a vassal to an overlord. See, and during that time, you had the Israelites coming out of the Greek captivity. They wasn't in charge. They wasn't in authority. They wasn't overlords. It says the obligation to make such a payment, any forced payment or contribution. Excuse me. What else we got? And that really is it. That tribute, paying tribute is something you do when you conquer people. We can actually open this up from the Collins Dictionary. Just hold tight here. It says, let's see. Now it's giving me something completely different. Yeah, tribute, a regular payment of money, etc., made by one ruler or nation to another as acknowledgement of subjugation, for protection from invasion, etc. See that? A tax levied for this. See, under feudalism, a tax paid by a vassal to an overlord, the obligation to make such a payment, any forced payment or contribution as through bribery or the need to make this. See, so that's what kind of tribute that was. It's payments being made. So let's go back and read that again right here in verse 2. And that they were great men of great valor, it was told him also of their wars and noble acts which they had done amongst the Galatians, and how they had conquered them and brought them under tribute. So when they conquered these people, they had them paying them tribute. So surely, right, you even had Israelites that had to pay tax to the Romans. So that this is the real Romans, the Edomites. and what they had done in the country of Spain for the winning of the mines of the gold, silver, and gold which is there. See, they took over, gold mines from the Spanish, and that by their policy and patience they had conquered all that place, though it were very far from them. See that they conquered. So you didn't have Hellenized Israelites that was conquering shit as a whole nation. You had the Romans, right? Hellenized Israelites didn't write policy. They didn't have, they didn't have policy. They were under captivity of their own selves. All right. It says in that by their policy and patience they had conquered all that place, though it were very far from them, and the kings also that came against them from the uttermost part of the earth, till they had discomfited them and given them a great overthrow, so that the rest did give them tribute every year. There it is again, tribute every year. See that? Now we jump down here. One of the brothers texted me. Just hold on here. Yeah, and you can read more there. I'm just gonna jump around and just make this a quick lesson. Verse 15 says, moreover, how they had made for themselves a senate house. Israelites didn't have a senate house. This is the Romans. Moreover, how they had made for themselves a senate house, wherein 320 men sat in council daily, consulting always for the people unto the end they might be well ordered, and that they committed their government to one man every year, who ruled over all their country, and that all were obedient to that one, and that there was neither envy nor emulation amongst them. So you can tell for sure this is speaking of those Romans, right? Speaking of those Romans. And there's more you could read here, but that's pretty much it. You don't need to go further than that just to answer that question. Now we can also go to the Good News Translation and read it there in this very easy read. 1 Maccabees 8:1. It says, Judas had heard about the Romans and their reputation as a military power. He knew that they welcomed all those who joined them as allies, and that those who came to them could be sure of the friendship of Rome. People had told him about the wars the Romans had fought and their heroic acts among the Gauls, whom they had conquered and forced to pay taxes. He had been told what they had done in Spain when they captured the silver mines and the gold mines there. By careful planning and persistence, they had conquered the whole country, even though it was far from Rome. They had overcome the kings from distant lands who had fought against them, and they defeated them so badly that the survivors had to pay annual taxes. See that? Annual taxes. And it even goes into, the wars they fought with the Greeks. It goes into all of that. But let's go on. I want to jump down. Let's just jump on down here to and you can read it much easier, but you got to be careful with these translations, because they do go off. Anyway, verse 15, they created a senate, and each day 320 senators came together to deliberate about the affairs of the people and their well-being. Each year they entrusted to one man the responsibility of governing them and controlling their whole territory. Everyone obeyed this one man, and there was no envy or jealousy among them. And it gives it to you right there. Okay. So, there's many more you can read. I mean, there's much more you can read here, but that's all you read. Just a few things that prove without a shadow of a doubt, those were the Romans, the Edomite Romans. So I'm going to read this and then close out. 2 Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needed not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. And really, you could also compare this was written here to history. Look up silver and gold mines, look up, tribute and all that different stuff. You can get into it, which really, not to say nothing to that brother, but you probably should have known better than that just by reading it. But you have to read it carefully, slowly, then go back and read it again, and then put yourself, understand the situation that's going on. All right, you didn't have no Israelites that was getting tribute from people during the Greek captivity going into the Roman captivity. It wasn't getting tribute. Tribute is something that rulers, get from the people. So tribute to something they get from different people that they ruled over, that conquered, as you saw from the definition. So again, is the Romans in 1 Maccabees chapter 8 Hellenized Israelites / Jews or Edomites? That was the Edomites. That was the Romans from the Roman Empire. All right, not Hellenized Israelites. So that's it. Just a quick answer to a question. All right, we're gonna leave it right there. I want to say all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom.